for new adventure. And I think that's what this year has pretty much been, I think, for a lot of us, a quest for something new. I think this year, as far as for me, inspired a lot of change. I'm still changing, and it's funny because I was so stuck, and it's only been recently, like within the past few weeks, that I've really been embracing all this change. And I've said I've been changing from time to time, but now I'm doing more radical changes in my life, and I'm really excited. You know, I know this year isn't done, and I'm excited for this year. Just even though it's at the tail end, because so many new things are happening, and all that is just gonna float on over to the new year. Are
you gonna make like a New Year's resolution?
You know what? There's something that I do want to do, and I found this online, and I'll just go first with my experience. I'll just take the lead on this one, and that is I read somewhere that for the new year that I should buy a jar, and I should just write all the good things that happened to me. And then at the end of the year, I should just, go through that jar and just read them. And I think that's what some people need sometimes, because they're too busy living their lives, and they remember those things, but it's not as coherent. At the end of the year, because we're all just so caught up in the hustle and bustle and trying to buy gifts and trying to see whose feathers are bigger than each other's. So it's not a New Year's resolution, but I think that's something that I just would like to incorporate into my life.
Well, here's a way to take that to an extra step, because I'm a Reiki practitioner. So a lot of my patients have issues about getting on with their lives and being grounded and living in the now. And if you take those same thoughts, all those same things that you would put in your jar, and every month at the end of the month you burn them, and you take the ash and you put it on the bottom of your feet, and you go to the ocean or you go out on the grass and you walk it off and you release that. So then you're able to have new adventures come in, new experiences, and new joy.
Sometimes you have to do kind of a physical action to mentally let go of things, I guess.
Exactly. Otherwise, you hold on to it. So the good and the bad. So you can have, you can put it in one, or you can do them separately, and it's an awesome exercise to do.
Definitely. So that's my experience. Your experience?
Nice. Well, my life is just an experience every day.
Exactly.
Every
Porn
day.
stars, cops.
Porn stars, cops. It's just,
all in a
par
day's
for
work.
The course.
That's just the way my life is. I have spoken about this in the past, and I don't really like to talk too much about Playboy and my time with them.
This has been the most asked question. Anytime somebody recognizes me, anytime somebody knows me, they always ask, where can we get the issue with Max? I say, my friend Avery, my friend Adam, both of them have asked me and I bump into them a lot because they live right by me. And they're always like, we Googled her. We're looking for that issue. We want that issue. And I'm just like, I'll ask her on air. So
you can come to my autograph shows that I do all around the country. And sometimes I'll have them there, and you can purchase them there, or you can get
Do you
them.
have any on you? I'll purchase 2.
I don't have any with me today, but
I would like to purchase
I don't really,
2.
carry them.
I want 2 so I could get them autographed.
But there's many issues. So, there's all of the subsidiaries that Playboy have as well, which are, Blondes, Brunettes, and Redheads, Playmates at Play, Wet and Wild, all of those things. Those are all out there too. So, if they're fans, they know where to look. But I try not to carry that throughout my life, because
why not?
Well, here's the thing, and no disrespect to Playboy. I love them. I love my time with them, but I signed my contract as a celebrity and not as a Playmate, because first off, there's a huge difference in money.
Right.
And
that's
and
just
then,
like when what celebrity? There's been a few.
Oh, there's been many.
Like when Carmen Electra did it, or whoever, or Jenny McCarthy. You know, you're like one of those.
Well, Jenny was a playmate. She was a playmate before she was a celebrity.
Okay.
So that was a different
contract.
Yeah, different contract.
Negotiation.
But she's done extremely well, and I love Jenny. She's fantastic. And speaking of playmates, my good friend Pamela Anderson is going to be over at Julia Gerard's Peace Gallery, who makes all of my show clothing on Melrose Avenue. Coming up, so you should contact them. Go down. There's like a big charity event. Pam's going to be there. I'll be there. There'll be a bunch of crazy people, and all for a good cause. And you get to see Julia's new line come out as well.
That's cool.
Yeah,
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's good times.
Well, when is that again?
I'll have to give you that information. You can
maybe we could do a show there.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, I have to
cool.
talk to Julia. Julia's fantastic. You know, if you are in the market for amazing rock clothing, she's the girl to go to.
Oh,
she's
really? Okay.
Unbelievable. She does Prince and Rihanna and Bob Dylan. Not that Bob Dylan has much style, but whatever. But she does incredible clothing, and all of my show clothing. My my red dress with the spikes.
No, but you know what? Remember when you did that charity event? Was that and you wore that dress? It was like black with sequins, but the side was you could see it. I know it's called. It was like mesh or something.
Yeah, that was the Oscars.
Okay.
I was wearing, and it was purple.
Was it I don't know. I was
purple
pretty
with
drunk.
black mesh. Yeah.
I'm like
in that light, maybe.
The charity event, the Oscars.
But you know what? I also, in a similar dress, I hosted the AIDS Walk LA with Hal Sparks.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, so you like that
same
dress?
thing, right?
Yeah. You want to borrow it?
It was nice.
Yeah. You look good in that.
I'm sure.
I don't know if
that.
it's your color, but we'll try it out.
So is that your experience?
Well, no, my experience is that thanks.
So we're having such a great time today. You have no idea.
Yeah, it's a good time. So, I don't really talk about it that much. I don't promote it, because it's a while, and my life has gone on, and I'm a musician and actor, and I like to be taken seriously for what I do. But people like to hang on to the fact that I have ears. That I was
Bunny?
Associated with Playboy.
Right.
And, they only want to look at me for that. So recently I had this little girl come up out of like nowhere. I mean, little, like an 8-year-old girl come up, and she's like, I love you so much. And when I grow up, I want to be a playmate too. First off, how did she know?
Man.
How did she know that I worked for Playboy? At 8 years old.
Secondly, sign her up. That way you could teach her the biz.
But I don't know if you know this or not. But Playboy is no longer going to have nudes. There are no more girls in the magazine. There'll be girls, but they won't be nude at all.
No,
this
gonna be
month
like a Maximum
is the last
time.
Yeah. I think Maxim is going to be more risque than Playboy. Yeah.
There'll be a lot of disappointed guys out there, I'm sure.
I know. My daughter's very disappointed because that's, she grew up like, I'm going to be a playmate too. And I'm like, no.
Well, she will be a playmate. It's just going to be a new generation of playmates. You know what I mean?
Well, they are not going to have them anymore. So it's completely different.
Well, there's still time. We still have how many, like 30 days left?
No, it's already done.
It's never done. When there's time.
Yeah.
We can make things
what? She's Supergirl on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. Oh, really?
She's one of those people now, now.
She is.
I probably run into her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live like right on, off of Hollywood Boulevard.
Go and find her.
That's cool.
Yeah,
she's really cute.
And Wonder Woman. Enough of that. Enough. So that's my experience. Do you have an experience you want to share?
You mean like over the last few months or?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know. I feel like always around this time of year, like I always feel like most of the year is just kind of like being in the eye of the hurricane. You're constantly going to and fro, trying to get things done, whatever.
Right.
It's always around November, for me at least. I just start to get more reflective and I take a step back. And I think it's important to do that like from an artistic side and from a personal side.
Sure.
Just so you can have a life and not be like a slave to your art. But at the same time, I think it's like, I truly believe that like art reflects on life and life reflects back on art, and it's a cycle. And unless you allow yourself to do that, it kind of ends up being static, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't evolve, you know. And I'm trying to do the same thing in terms of like, I always like looking in the present moment and not as much in the past or as much in the future, because it kind of allows me to be the most genuine artist I can possibly be.
Right.
So right now I'm investigating a lot of different things, like music-wise, but more just kind of taking a step back and seeing what's out there. Like I've been looking a lot into virtual reality games and experiences, because that's a huge topic right now. And now, you know, they're trying to figure out ways to make you feel like they have the visual part of it down, where you can, you know, put on the helmet and you can see this virtual reality world. And now they're trying to figure out how to integrate audio. So it's like you hear a creak, you know, you're like in a haunted house or something. You hear a creak and it's coming from above you, not just like surround sound or things like that. So I've just been kind of investigating like, how can music be used in other ways that people, you know, have not been using before? So I always like doing that kind of stuff, and like, you know, just taking a step back and, you know, reflecting. I read a lot of books. I'm a big bookworm, so this is usually the time I dig into those.
Yeah, I read as well. Turtle, not so much.
Yeah.
Well, I read when I'm taking a dump, because that's like when
because that's most of his time. That's what he does. Apparently, that's all he talks about now.
Lately, I've been
you
like,
can get some thinking done in there.
Thank you. It's the thinking man's throne.
Oh my. Wasn't there a Seinfeld episode about reading the book in the John and
yeah.
You know,
George
now
did
it's
it.
tainted.
But
it gets flagged or something.
Yeah,
right? And he tries to take it to different bookstores,
and he can't return it.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. That's what's going to happen to you.
Well, usually I'll read, or I have a Game Boy in there, so like I'll do some Game Boy. Yeah.
Can't you just go to the bathroom and get out?
No, I take
Good
long
Lord.
dumps, man. Like I don't know what I'm eating. Well, I know what I'm eating, but I don't know.
So if you go in there, you want to take a book that you know you're going to want to get. So even if it gets flagged, then you can just get it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I say.
Oh,
or at least a picture book. I'm just looking through pictures or something.
Yeah.
It takes like 5 minutes for this, you know, monstrosity to like come out of me. You know, clean up some mess. But yeah. But it's funny because when Nikhil came in, you know, it was funny because we recognize each other because he's in Dream Alive, and that's a band that I had on the Enter the Shell show.
It was like 2 years ago or
so. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Time flies, man.
Beyond time flies.
Yeah.
And it, like I recognized you, I recognized your face, and then I saw Dream Live, like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. In my head, it all just like clicked together. And I thought that was really interesting about just you know, about life. You know, like I would have never, because I don't even think we talked about video games.
No, not at the time. I think I was just starting it probably shortly after that.
Yeah.
So.
And here you are, an epic video game composer. You know what I mean?
It's a huge market. It's huge.
It is. I mean, they say that, you know, the video game industry is bigger than the movie and a music industry combined now, which is just kind of blows my mind. It started, I feel like, we were talking about this a little earlier. It started off being kind of a hobby thing, you know, things that like people would casually play, like a pastime. And now it's become like a way of life. Like they have video game conventions. They have this thing called Video Games Live, where they have composers and the composers of the music, and they'll come and they'll be backed by like a full-on orchestra, and they sell out. They sell out like huge arenas and stuff.
Yeah, they play at the bowl all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's a good time.
It's cool. Yeah, it's
I
a
have
very
so
interesting time.
so many of my friends, you know, myself included, we are voiceover actors. So, you know, huge stars in that world, and you would never know.
So true. Yeah,
it's
such a big market for that now.
Massive. Massive.
And I feel like even with, you know, as things like virtual reality, augmented reality, all that kind of stuff like comes into the fold, it's just going to blow the doors wide open even more. You know what I mean? Because it starts to push the boundaries a little bit about what defines a musical experience, what defines a game experience, what defines like a visual auditory experience. And it's cool. I mean, it's cool to see that, you know, you see it once every, you know, few decades or so, where you see this big push that kind of turns everything on its head. And I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, we were talking to Billy West, who was on a couple of shows ago, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Billy, but he's, you know, a great voiceover actor. He's the voice of Doug and
Fry from Futurama.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like,
No
he's,
way.
He's just
That's awesome.
huge. But he was talking about doing gaming as well, and that's like the new market for him.
Yeah.
Because there aren't as many cartoons as there used to be,
and there aren't as many voice actors for those.
Right.
I think
It's
I've
all
heard,
the same
right?
people all the time. So yeah. And luckily for him, he's one of the biggest in the world. So that's good. Unfortunately for me, I'm not.
But you know what? Like, who cares? Like, you're still getting some work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're not getting
I'd
Billy
like
West
more.
money,
I'd
but
like more.
hey man, you're getting
I would
your
like some
work.
Billy West money. I would like.
We all
Remember,
know.
he said he was gonna call the helicopter and we were gonna fly out.
Call him up on that.
I want to go.
Do it. Call him up on
I want
that.
to go to like Santa Barbara for lunch.
Sure.
And
You're gonna have to bang him, but I mean,
turtle.
right?
Not everybody's about that.
Yeah.
When you bring in a helicopter, guess what you're about? Breaking
Is that
news.
the litmus test?
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
See, and all you were saying earlier is how you don't want a girl that is interested in that.
I said I didn't. I didn't say Billy did.
Oh,
He's a nice guy.
I'm sure he would like more than that.
I'm sure.
I've had dinner with him. He's lovely.
I'm sure. I didn't say no. I'm just saying whenever you bring in a helicopter, it's like, come on.
All right.
Helicopter goes up.
That's what you think.
Panties go down.
I saw you recently over at Lucky Strike.
Oh, that's right.
You're a bowler too? Are you a bowler too?
No.
No, you don't know about Lucky Strike.
You and Greg go bowling. They
have all the bands that play there now, like all the all-star, like there's always
every
people
Wednesday
from
night.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, like if you can get any standing room at all at this point, because it's become so popular.
It was
so
it's shut down last week.
I heard about
Steve
that. I wasn't
was
there,
playing and a bunch of other.
It's a shame. I think David Lee Roth was there too, right?
Yeah.
They were gonna have.
Yeah,
like
he never even got to play because they shut it down.
Billy
Sheehan was there.
Why did they shut it down?
Overcapacity.
Yeah.
Well, whose fault is that? Lucky Strikes. It's like, hey, that's the thing that I've realized, and this was something that I learned from Rodney Bingenheimer, and that is the exclusivity. Like he would have like a table, and then he'd put like a one of those velvet red ropes around it, and then people would be like, I want to be in that table. It's like, sorry, this is exclusive, and that made people want it even more.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like that whole thing of like, you got to let people not in to make it even cooler.
Well, it's a free gig, so people are just once word gets out, it's like and Chuck Wright is doing such a fantastic job with everybody down there. It's it's too crowded for me.
Yeah.
But on the night that I was there, I got to see you, and I was like, I was blown away.
It's cool. One thing I feel also about that place is, it's even though there's so many people there, it's got a community vibe in a sense. It
does.
Like when I first moved out here, maybe almost 7.5 years ago, I used to go to the Strip a lot and stuff, and I feel like I saw the tail end of that community vibe there. And it's cool to see like, okay, it's kind of gravitated to another area, but it's nice to see when there can be such big crowds, but it still has that kind of vibe, and like everybody knows everybody kind of thing.
I miss the Strip though.
Yeah, me too.
Man, those are
I
good
have
days.
Fond memories of the Cat Club and all that stuff from a few years back.
Yeah, my friend Steve Scarducci owned the Cat Club.
I know we've talked about the Strip extensively all the time about what happened, but let's. What do we got to do to bring that vibe back? Because you know what I hate? I hate when everyone just talks about the good old days.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and it's no longer what it was. It's like, well, dude, let's figure out what it takes.
Do something about it. Yeah.
Instead of just letting it like wither away.
The problem with the Strip now is that they, everybody on the Strip wants to change it. Yeah. So they've come in and they've taken clubs down, and now they're building, hotels and
the House of Blues being
condominium.
Case in point.
Yeah. So, having that scene, because I don't know if people really realize, but it wasn't always like, just rock. It was punk rock. And it was like the place to be. There was so like X playing there, and all of those great punk bands from, the early 60s and 70s. And it made, the face of the Strip and the gangsters and, the Hollywood magic of it. And then that all kind of, filtered away.
Yeah.
And, it's really a shame.
Yeah,
we only have, the Roxy, which is only for main shows now.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And what else do we have? We have the Whiskey.
One of the only shows, Dream Alive had played there was back in, I want to say like late 2013, early 2014. I think it was like right after that they remodeled their whole business thing. But I think a big problem also is, I know probably a lot of people harp on it anyways, but the pay-to-play thing. Yeah. Because what happened was, I feel, and it's funny because I feel like I'm speaking about it, but I wasn't even there. But like, from what I hear at least, people would pay bands. They would curate the night. They would have tons of people want to come in because of that. They would come in for the venue, because they knew that if they got there like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., they could stay till 12 or 1, and they're gonna like probably most of the acts that night.
Right.
And once you create a community like that, then you build it and they will come, right?
Exactly.
And the bands got paid, and it became a big party, right? Like, and the scene completely developed, and the people owning the venues, they made tons of money off of that. So it was kind of a win-win situation. But what happens when you do pay-to-play is, well, it doesn't matter if, whoever's booking the night, it doesn't matter if they have a folk rock act followed by a death metal act followed by, and I've seen this on like bills, and it's like literally one after another, followed by a reggae person, followed by a hip hop guy to close out the night. And it's like, as long as people are willing to pay the pre-sale amount or whatever, then they'll book whoever. It doesn't matter if it's a 14-year-old playing their first show on the main stage, or it's like, as long as you can pay up. And that means that, one, the audience is going to stay for the band they came to see, their friends,
they're going to leave
only, and then they'll leave, and it becomes a revolving door, and then nobody's increasing their audience because they're trying to get the same friends, because they're the only ones who are going to pay for the show.
Well, I don't think it's really the pay to play per se. I think it's the promoters' fault for doing that, for booking the shows in that way, because there's always really been pay to play, since
the late 80s, I think.
I remember, back when Poison was playing, they had to sell tickets in order, to make any of the money back.
Right.
And, Motley Crue and all of those bands, they weren't getting paid. They were, selling tickets, and that's when flyering was happening, and it was like the flyer wars on the Strip, and such good times then.
Yeah.
It's like, there's flyers everywhere around Hollywood, and, it's like the challenge of how do you keep your flyer up before the community takes it down.
And it becomes something like that too, where it's, it's definitely the people who book the shows, it's definitely the onus is on them, but I guess the onus is also on the bands who take the shows too, and it becomes one of those like,
Yeah, it's true.
Unfortunate.
We would all like to
around.
be paid to play.
Yeah.
That's, we would like to be paid.
Yeah. I would love it so much. I could stop washing dishes.
You guys should do like a Patreon or something like that.
Yeah,
that would be cool
that would be good
to do.
What's a Patreon?
Patreon's like where you can you basically have like a podcast, or like you can release a music video a month or whatever it is, and you just get people to buy a subscription to it. So they pay $1 a month, $2 a month, whatever it ends up being. Okay. And, then they get some incentives. It's almost like a Kickstarter, but it's like a monthly subscription thing. I know people have been able to like fund their podcast that way.
Okay. Yeah,
you should look into that.
Yeah. More things I got to look into. Damn it.
You have to look into doing something.
I know.
Somebody's got to pay me around here.
I know. I'm too busy just trying
Mary
to
and I are going broke.
I know. She's like, I'm not broke.
She's like, I have a banana.
Yeah, I'm too busy just trying to pay rent. Just trying to do that right now. I was at the craft service table real quick.
We always have great craft service.
Yeah. Thanks, Max.
You're welcome. And Mary, too. Mary always helps out as well.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Mary.
The hot Mary Kay.
Very hot. Actually, me and Mary made out last show.
Excuse me?
Everyone left, and it was just me and her. We made out for a bit. It was pretty cool.
Oh.
Mary's like, no, we didn't. You're dreaming.
No one ever admits to making out with me.
No, I don't think I would either. No.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, that's of course.
Yeah, that's not
You're
supposed
fine.
to
No,
happen.
just kidding.
Not supposed to happen,
Right.
Turtle. Taking advantage.
Hell yeah.
He's like, I was drunk. I was
Oh, yeah.
wondering why Mary was so late to dinner.
Right? Yes, cleaning the set.
Yeah, I bet you are.
With their tongue.
we hear.
Not just kidding. Yeah, no, but it was funny because
He's keeping the dream alive.
Yeah. Well, while I was over there, I made a comment off the air about. I was like, man, Max, good job. You didn't bring any alcohol today. You know, because last show, my friend Avery made a comment. He's like, man, you really get drunk. And I was like, it's not that I get drunk. I just, there's alcohol. It's open or whatever. But
doing my part.
Yeah.
What do you usually have? Like hard alcohol or beer?
Whatever's around.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll, it's whatever I feel like bringing that
Yeah.
day, and how much is in my budget because, it's expensive.
It is.
All this
yeah.
stuff is expensive.
I know.
It's like, just on what I have over there is about $150.
Yeah, I like these kind nuts and spices.
Aren't
fiber
those great?
things.
Those are gluten-free.
Wow,
I
they're
love
really
them.
good.
I live off those bars. Delicious.
I was driving in today and I was starving, man, because I ate some oatmeal for breakfast. Because so as I'm going throughout my life, I'm noticing my food patterns, and I love cereal because cereal is like one of those things that you can eat in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night, and it doesn't require that much prep. It's 2 minutes prep, if that, and that's a luxurious 2 minutes of just like running to the refrigerator or walking slowly.
I can't tell you how many cereal bowls I've had at like night.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the
It's
best
like
time.
I don't want to cook. I'll just pecan nut something.
Exactly.
Something or other. Yeah.
Or you just like throw like nuts into the cereal and it automatically becomes like a brand new cereal. You infuse it.
Or do you ever mix the two?
Oh, that's one of my
cereals?
favorites. That's one of my favorite things. Like, when you'd get back in the day when they used to send cereal in the mail. Did you ever get that where you get the two little guest cereals?
In the mail.
Yeah,
Really?
you'd get like tricks
never
and
get
then
cereal in
know.
the mail.
Yeah,
I wish I lived there. I'd have been down
Man.
for that.
you'd get cinnamon or cinnamon toast crunch and tricks, like the little like
What?
Like
boxes.
the 6-pack, right? Like the variety pack is.
Well, no, it's just the sample pack.
I like those though.
Yeah, those are great.
And then you would open them and then you just pour them together in the bowl. I'm like, all right, cinnamon crunch tricks. let's see what happens,
One year for my son was having Halloween, and I made him a serial killer. So I put all the boxes of cereal, those little cereal boxes on his shirt, and just bloodied them and had knives.
That
stuck
is
in them.
awesome. That is very clever.
for next year.
Serial killer. Yeah, right?
So anyway, the reason why I was talking about the cereal is because I was doing a lot of milk. I was spending a lot of money on milk because obviously the two go, hand in hand. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly.
You shouldn't drink milk.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not drinking that much milk, so at the end I'd always throw out some milk, and so then I was just like, man, what do I got to do to save money? Because that's something I've been trying to do, just with my minimized budgets. That's when I moved to oatmeal, because oatmeal is just hot water, and
Yeah,
that's
it's water.
that's all you need. And
That's depressing though.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like food ration kind of thing. I mean, at least get yourself some milk.
I don't make that much, like you guys.
Patreon, guys. Patreon.
Yeah,
Right?
please.
We need some sponsors around here for just
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah.
Milk for turtle.
Yeah, so it's like
Milk fund.
What
Yeah.
kind of milk do you take?
whole milk.
Whole milk, really?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I love it. Everyone's
that's like
looking at it. Everyone's
almond
disgusted
milk.
by
Get
that.
with the almond milk or the rice milk.
I've tried almond milk. I don't like it. I've tried soy milk.
No, soy's bad. That's what'll give you breasts. But,
I'm fine with that.
but what about
Something to play
rice
with.
milk? What about rice milk?
Rice
Have you
milk?
tried that? It's
No.
nice and sweet,
Yeah, it is.
delicious.
I use almond milk myself.
You're
I
an
do
almond
too.
milk man.
We're
But see,
almondy
like
people.
for the gallon, like because they only sell almond milk in quarts,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
No.
I go through gallons. Like with milk, it's like this is how I am with my cereal. It's a little cereal, a lot of milk. I'm dunking that thing. It's drowning in milk. So I like the cart wouldn't last me that long. And what I try to do is I try to ration the cereal with the milk. It's a formula. It's a mathematical formula in my head. That way I have.
You have it
everything.
down to a
Sorry.
system.
I do.
He really
I just
does.
eat the cereal, but that's just me. I don't know.
I don't know. I like more cereal than I do milk
Yeah.
because I like to make a little story for each piece of cereal or a song, so each one had a little song.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I'm eating my cereal.
See, for me, I always put like a little bit more milk, but then it's just an excuse to reload the cereal after it's done. You know what I mean?
Well, but you know what the problem is it gets all gushy, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
like
why you have to eat
crunchy
it
cereal.
Fast, yeah.
But I don't eat
under
anything
5 minutes.
fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to chew, and I have to create a song. So so I do pretty much with everything I eat. I'm like, a little song in my head.
Yeah, it's a complete process.
Otherwise, yeah, I won't eat.
Oh, by the way, we're talking with Nick Hill. You can find him at Nick Hill Music or NikhilKmusic.com. I'll have all the links.
Or Dream Alive Music.
Or DreamAliveMusic.com. That's the band website.
Yeah. I was reading your bio and stuff like that. We're just trolling around on the interwebs.
Internets.
Yeah, and this is what I like about you, and I think this is you in a nutshell. And I'm pretty sure you wrote this or you stole it really well. It says a lover of life and a composer of music for film, games, and TV. That's pretty much you in a nutshell.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I try to be positive, I guess. I think it's also one of those things where, like, as you go through experiences in life, you pull so much inward, and you reflect on it, and then you project it outward somehow.
Right.
Like, for me, it just happens to be that the way I project it outward is music,
Yeah.
It could have been anything, I'm sure, but it chose me. I didn't choose it, so here I am. But, like, I feel that it's important to absorb as much of life as you possibly can and absorb as much of music as you possibly can.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So.
Your music remind me of, like, Styx. And
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
like, those bands. It's like epic bands.
I love like classic
epic
rock. That's like one of my favorite things,
Yeah.
And I love, like, one thing I really like about them is they were really good with melodies. And I feel like that's something you like. Sometimes even in film scoring, even in that kind of stuff, people shy away from melodies sometimes. And it's something I really like. So I'm definitely into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, are you a Styx fan?
I am. I really like that song, and as cliche it is, "Sail Away."
Come sail away. Yeah.
Because just the way it's, I'm sailing away.
Don't sing.
He's really like into the motion of the ocean, like, he's using his voice more as like a breeze.
Yeah.
In that, and then it just starts building up, and then it's like, come sail away, and you're just like, yeah, let me jump on a boat, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because, like, all those guys, I mean, you look at Styx, you even look at like Journey and those types of bands.
Right.
You look, a little further back, you look at Pink Floyd, you look at the Beatles, all this, like, they would use imagery, but then it would mean two different things.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would be the literal version, and then it would be the kind of, you think a little deeper, and it means something a little bit more profound. And that's stuff that I always am interested in. Like, I love almost like interjecting like philosophy with the music.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's storyline.
Yeah.
The whole storyline.
Now I have "Sailing Away" stuck in my head right
Yeah,
now.
forever and ever.
Forever. At least for the next like 3 days or something. When I'm in my car and I'm driving home, I'm probably gonna listen to it.
No, you're just going to
A
be
few
singing
times.
at the top of your
I
lungs.
will be.
Or listen to it and sing at the top.
Yeah, of
You
course.
get the best of both worlds.
Of course. This is the Turtle remix edition. You know what I mean? Remastered now with more Turtle.
Oh my goodness.
Setting for a course on the open sea.
Wow, you even know the words.
I told you I like that song, man. It's a really cool song.
I used to have a friend in high school, and her name was Babe.
Nice.
Like the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so every time anybody saw her, that was all that they ever did was sing that song to her.
That's awesome.
How annoying is that, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
To have like that one name that's associated with a song, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
There's
like
a few people
Rosanna.
like that.
yeah,
You know.
Rosanna.
Someone was singing to
Jenny,
me,
I got your number. Right?
Uncle
Yeah.
Albert. Someone was
Oh,
singing
yeah.
me that song. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Or what's the other one? You can call me Al. Some people like
Oh,
singing
yeah.
that to me too.
I get Maxwell Silverhammer. That
Oh, nice.
Wait, what song?
I wouldn't have
Maxwell
thought of that, but that's
Silverhammer-
good.
Beatles. It's Beatles.
Off the Abbey Road album.
Wow. I don't think I've heard that song.
Oh, you
Wow.
got to hear
What?
that one. It's amazing.
Of the Abbey Road?
Turtle.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, Turtle.
And every time they say bang bang, you hear like that hammer sound. It's cool.
I don't know about that Beatles band.
What?
I don't think they're gonna make it.
They may make it someday. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
They may have something there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
just
Need
my
some fine tuning.
just my intuition tells me.
But did you like, Paul McCartney after Beatles?
Yeah,
I
did.
I do. Just like I like John Lennon after the Beatles, George Harrison. But I do feel like there was some magic with them because the way they played off each other. John was like a lot more the like brash rock and roll-y, but then he would also have like that kind of profound edge to him. It was a kind of a weird dichotomy. But then Paul was much more happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And then George was more like the spiritual, quiet one, I guess, as they say. But it was a really
what
cool.
about Ringo?
And
Everybody
Ringo,
always forgets
one of the
Ringo.
best drummers around. I feel like one of the most underrated. Like he would play to the song, and it's like you can hear his drum parts and you know who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
so
true.
cool. But
I
like
saw
they
him
all balanced
recently.
each other out. I love their solo stuff, but for me it was never quite the same synergy.
But that's only
But-
because you wanted that. Like
Yeah,
you had to
that's true
just
too.
accept, like, okay, they're playing with other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of like when you break up with somebody and then later on you see them with somebody else, and it's just like, damn. It's like you miss that timeline, but you're just like, you got to accept that. You just got to accept that, I guess.
Okay.
I'm just
We say so.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Greg, who plays in Bad Religion and Circle
Right.
Jerk,
Yeah.
and all these other bands at the same
Sure,
time.
sure.
And you ask him which was your favorite, and he
Yeah.
always says that Bad Religion.
Right.
It's his main band. It's like,
Yeah.
because all the Circle Jerk fans are like, what do you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You
What
know?
about
So it's
us?
like you can't say anything. You can't
Yeah.
have an opinion about your own music anymore.
I know.
I don't
And
know.
it's almost tough to have an opinion about your own music. I guess,
Yeah.
like compared to what your opinion of your own music is going to be completely different a lot of times
Right.
than how other people perceive it or perceive you.
Right, exactly.
So-
And for somebody like Billy who,
Mhm.
plays with all of these famous guys,
Yeah.
and but he still is a writer and composer, it's like, how do you
And he has his
get
own
that
thing
how
going.
do
Yeah,
you get that dynamic to equal out? Are you eating?
It's really good.
Are we disturbing your lunch, Turtle?
No, this is like I get to watch like a play or something. It's really cool. I'm curious though. Excuse me, I'm trying
Yeah, you want to maybe not talk with your mouth full.
What was it like for you, to see those two guys right here in this chair, as we were just vibing off with them, just talking with them?
It was awesome. I was like listening intently to everything they had to say because, I mean, I love the bands that they're part of, and like I couldn't believe it. Like when you'd first asked me to do this, I didn't know that they were going to be on it. I just saw the post
Yeah.
yesterday, so I was like,
I never
yes.
tell the other guest who else is on until
Oh,
the
yeah?
last minute because, I don't want anybody to think that they're, bigger or smaller than the next guest because
Yeah,
everybody's equal,
Sure.
in this realm.
Well, I consider it an honor, to be here and to be on the same show with them. So it was really cool to hear all their stories as well, because I've had such like varied and storied experiences,
Right. Yeah.
and to hear it like firsthand, kind of thing was really cool. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're definitely fascinating guys.
yeah,
That's for
absolutely.
sure.
I was thinking a lot about this year and just the epicness. Like, I like when I saw that they were gonna be on,
Mm-hmm.
all I kept on thinking was like, wow, like at the beginning of the year we had Pearl Thompson on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. From
and
The Cure.
from The Cure,
Yeah.
and I just thought for me, I was like, okay, like.
That's it. That's as big as it's going to get.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it just kept on getting bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
like wow, like it's weird that you see that, and you see that perspective where I see the other perspective of like,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I interviewed you like 2 years ago when you were in your band,
Yeah,
but you're still here, which is a good thing, that's why I created Under Shelves. People needed a place to come to, and even though the show has morphed into what it is now,
Mm-hmm.
For me, it just felt cool that like somebody that had been on a show when it was still in its infancy, and now like you
Yeah.
get like
yeah. What do you think about it?
It's really cool. I liked what it was then. I really like what it is now. I feel like it's cool that it's not like the regular interview questions. I think I was just talking to you about this earlier, but like you kind of get to know the artists more intimately. You know, it's like otherwise it becomes the same kind of, you know, canned responses, same kind of questions and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more real, and I like that. That's cool. I dig it.
Somebody said to me recently that they likened me to a rock and roll Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
That's kind of cool.
Like, well, if you're going to be a tree, what kind of tree would it be?
That's a good question. What kind of tree? Well, let's all figure that out. I would kind of want to be a Christmas tree only because, and it's not because Christmas, but like I'm a big gin fan. And I really enjoy that piney flavor.
Yeah, but they cut you down and then you're done. You're dead.
No, then you're just reborn again. You're reborn as a
it's
tree,
over.
As a decorative momentum.
They go into the chipper and that's it. You're gone.
No, you're not.
Finished.
See,
Christmas done.
You go into a chipper and then what do you become? You become mulch. You
or
become
not.
part of the earth. You know what I mean?
Just going into a dump.
That, yeah.
You just keep on recycling your life as something else and keep on coming back as something else.
What about like an oak tree that lives for hundreds and hundreds of years?
And then
grows so tall
they see
and
things.
big and wide.
Yeah. Then they cut you down and then make you into a barrel where bourbon and whiskey are made.
And see, that's a good thing.
That's not such a bad way to go, right? Actually, I don't know. I might go that route.
Never know, man.
What kind of odd tree would you be?
I would think the oak tree personally, just because like I would want to be around to see more stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Even though, you know, in some of there's this great story called Anastasia, and it's about this woods nymph and the pine seeds, you know, the pignoli. So the pignolis are supposed to be magical and they're worth a lot of money. And there was like countries that were won and lost over pignolis.
Wow.
So, you know, pine trees in other countries are worth a lot more.
Yeah.
In America, not so much.
Right.
What would you be, Max? Did we already say that? What you would be?
I would probably be an oak as well. You know, because
See, look at that. Two oaks.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Boo. No, just kidding.
A maple tree, maybe? I don't know.
Maple, yeah.
You know,
I do like the idea of like recycling and kind of, you know, putting out the energy and it becoming something else. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
No lie. No, just kidding.
Maple's pretty good. 'Cause then you could like, you know, tap right into me.
Right.
I can provide syrup.
Huge fan of syrup.
Yeah.
And maple. Huge fan. You know what? Real quick, I was reading this, and not that I want to contend this or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you said, and this is about music. Such a labor of love. It can be so testing at times with the amount of thousands of unpaid hours that you have. You know, and that is 100% true, and I get it. But you know, I think that could be said for everything that you do, you know, and I know for you it's music, but like for me it's like this show, you know, it's like people, you know, they listen to the show, you know, and they don't understand the amount of time that like Max has to go to get these. Granted, it's not that much because she just walks in. These guys all want to bang her, so it's like
that's not how it goes. That is not how it goes.
That's exactly how I always see it. Like she just walks in, like, who's that?
No, these are my peers. So you know, they know me through the industry, or you know, it's like that's how it works. It's not.
Right, but
it's not about banging me.
It's always about banging, and so, but like they don't see like me showing up, setting everything up, breaking down, going home,
behind the curtain. Part of it,
yeah. You know, so like when you said that, you know, I totally felt that, but I felt again like that was true, but that rang true to like what everybody else does, you know.
Totally.
I find that true in everybody's business, no matter what it is that they do.
Yeah.
There's so much more.
I think it's a delicate balance, you know. It's like you want to do things always genuinely and completely honestly, and it is a labor of love, and it has to be, because otherwise, you know, we could all be doing other things that would make far more, you know, financial sense and like would be way less risky, right? Like, why would we choose this unless we love it?
Idiots.
But at the same time, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, it's important, especially now when so many people are kind of forgetting what art is worth. Yes. I think it's important to kind of have firmed up in your mind what it's worth to you, or what, you know, what you're going to put out there, because I feel like so many people are willing to undercut themselves and their peers by saying, hey, I'll do it for free, or hey, I'll do it for some like paltry amount. And I get the sentiment behind that, but at the same time, I think it's always important for people to value art and for the artists to value it themselves.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing that you just said, because just recently, 2 days ago, so an artist asked to draw me, and and
Naked?
yes, and I had been drawn by him in the past, and I was not naked, but he wanted to do some topless stuff, and I said, well, that you're going to have to pay for, and he's like, okay, I'm not opposed to that. How much would that be? And I said, I really have a hard time putting a price on myself.
Yeah.
And, which I think a lot of us as artists, do, no matter what it is, it's hard to give somebody a price for what it is. That,
$5 each tit.
And he said, well, I drew this other girl and this is how much I gave her. And I said, well, was she a playmate? And he was like, no. And I'm like, well, and he's like, well, how much do you get there? I'm like, 60,000. And he's like, oh, I can't afford that. But,
you got to be realistic sometimes too, Max. I mean,
if you want the goods, man, you got to pay for it.
I know, but you still got to be realistic.
Well,
as to what he's doing.
But
it's tough now because so many people are forced to be free agents. You know, what through their own choice or through the way the industry has become now. And I think there's a lot of misinformation out there, so it's very difficult for people to figure out. They may want to actually charge a fair amount, and even sometimes people may want to pay a fair amount. They don't know what that is anymore.
Right.
I mean, like now we live in the age of Craigslist. Hey, I'll do a music track for you for $20.
Exactly.
And it's like, not thousands, but like maybe thousands of dollars is spent in recording that thing, or in terms of like the amount of effort that's put into it.
Yeah, or actors who are like, oh yeah, well we're doing indie stuff. Well, indie still means I'm getting paid. Just doesn't mean that you have a studio behind you. I'm still going to get paid. And modeling, because everybody has a cell phone and they think, oh, I'm a model now because I take a selfie. No, that's not the way it goes. If you want those kind of models, then that's what you're going to get. For all of us, if you want somebody to host your shows or, do live broadcasts, we're the junk. You're the man to go to if you want, to see a good performance.
And I think it's one of those things where I do feel this to some extent, even from doing the composing thing. And, because like when I first was starting out with that stuff, it was very difficult to figure out, when people would ask, what do you charge? I'm like, let me get back to you on that, because it's difficult to put a price on your own stuff. And you don't want to kind of like scare people away, but at the same time, you don't want to have a resentment the whole time, like, man, I'm just doing this for free. It sucks. Like, and then the art suffers. Ultimately, the art suffers, and that's everybody loses then, right? So, I found this, that if I could realistically give them, hey, listen, if you want this type of thing, I can give it to you for this much. If you want something of lesser quality, I could do that for less, but I feel like A, I'd be doing an injustice to your project. B, I'd be doing an injustice to the art, and I think we'd both lose. So I feel like when people see that, oh, they may have to pay a little bit more, I think sometimes they value it a little bit more too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if somebody has 10 different composers or songwriters they can choose from, and they can get, all those songs for free plus exposure or whatever the deal they work out, then it's like, I could choose any of those people, and at the last minute, I could change my mind. I could walk away from it, and there's no emotional investment. They don't have a stake in the game, kind of thing. And I think the art ultimately suffers because of that. And I don't think it's just a financial thing, but I think it's just kind of like setting a precedent between two people who are working on a project together, because that's ultimately what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's brilliant what Billy's doing with packaging his Ozzy stuff with his art, and if you haven't seen his art, you really should.
I haven't seen it actually.
It's amazing. It's really unbelievable. He's so talented.
BillyMorrison.net.
Yeah.
Done. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take another break. We're gonna listen to another song. I want to listen to your composition.
Sure.
And then when we come back, maybe we'll get Armin. But you stick around.
Okay.
You just stick around in that chair.
I'm down.
We got to name the show.
We still got to name the show, dude. We still have tons of music to go
shout-outs.
through. So there's still plenty of show.
Holy cow.
But
It's
this
14 hours long.
you
You can like
dude,
listen
That's part
to
one.
it.
That's part one.
You know, go clean your house.
we're about to go to the
go
B side.
store.
This is the B side. The B side's always like the best part.
I know.
In recording. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen to "Legend Is Born," and I believe that you wrote that about me.
Yeah. How did you guess?
I just knew.
I didn't even have to tell you that. You knew.
Legend in his own mind.
Yes, and we all know my mind is like great. Okay, so we're gonna listen to that, and then we're gonna have Armin on. Nikhil, stick around.
Sure.
More Tortoise the Hare experience coming up.